Welcome to the Mental Wellness Wake Up Show, the place to be to learn tips and tools from both psychology and spirituality that create lasting well being. I am your host, mental wellness expert and theater creator, Dawn McMillan. Thanks for being here. Let's get to it. So, what I have to share with you today is a quote or three. This one comes from Hale Dwoskin, who is the keeper of the Sedona method lineage. And here it is. The harder we try to not create what we do not want, the stronger we're holding on to the idea. Thus, the more likely we are to create it in our reality. Said another way, the more you hate it, the longer it lasts. Stephen Hayes, one of the creators of ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy, says something like, the less you are willing to have it, the more of it you have. We're talking about those unwanted inner experiences. The harder we try to not create what we do not want, the stronger we're holding on to the idea, thus the more likely we are to create it in our reality. Or in my language, the more you hate it, the longer it lasts. And one of the reasons that I want to talk about this today is I'm seeing in myself and others, both personally and professionally, this huge resistance to letting go of the need to have things show up the way we want in the time that we want, or we throw a temper tantrum about it. So, what do I mean about that? It's when things are not going the way that we want them to, we start to be in a bad mood. We obsess about the past. We fret about the future. And I really do believe that a lot of this is coming to resistance. I did one of my very first podcasts was about resistance. The harder we try to not create what we do not want, the stronger we're holding on to the idea. Thus, the more likely we are to create it in our reality. Or as I like to say, the more you hate it, the longer it lasts. And there's something about attention. We pay attention, and you get what you pay for. So if you are paying attention to how much you don't want something, how much you don't like it, how pissed off you are that this thing exists, you are paying for it, so you get more of it. Does that track for you? You are paying attention to it and you get what you pay for. So, to use an example that came up recently, don't want to use that one. I just want to be respectful of what people share with me, and I don't ever want to accidentally disrespect someone by using something they shared with me as an example if it doesn't sound as supportive as it might. So let's say that I really don't like my neighbors. We'll use that one. I really don't like my neighbors. I think they are too loud and they don't keep their front lawn nice enough. So let's say that that's what I'm resisting in this moment. So I spend a lot of time being very upset and in a bad mood and passive aggressively saying things in a loud voice in the backyard about how some people just really don't know how to be neighbors and so on and so forth. So the first thing I get is a stress soup inside of my own body. The second thing that I get is more unhappiness, more conflict with the neighbors, and more stress and struggle, and more continuance of the problem that I have. There is this part of us that thinks that if we just object strenuously enough, then Professor Life, the world, God, everyone else will stop doing the thing that we don't want them to do and start doing the thing that we do want them to do. My question is, how's that going? You know that Byron Katie quote, I love it so much. When I resist reality, I lose, but only 100% of the time. What is, is. What has been, has been. What is, is. What is, is. The more you hate it, the more of it you get. The more you hate it, the more of it you get. The more you hate it, the more longer it lasts. The more you resist, the more it pushes, the stronger it gets. One of my friends was trying to exhaust their child, who was a very high energy child, and so they put them into water polo. And, and then my friend had the terrifying realization, it's like, I'm not tiring her out, I'm giving her stamina. That's what we do when we stay in resistance. The more you hate it, the more of it you get. It's, I was going to say it's counterintuitive. It, it just is the way that it works. And I wish I had a better explanation for why things are the way that they are. And I don't. I don't. It really does have a lot to do with what you're focusing on. You water and what's the word? Fertilize. You water and fertilize things with your attention. So, what are you paying attention to? What are you watering? What are you fertilizing? Is it peace, joy, happiness, or is it my anger and resentment that I'm not getting things the way that I want? Am I watering and fertilizing confusion? Am I watering and fertilizing outrage? What am I watering and fertilizing with my attention? These are the questions. So this theme is coming up a lot in my world, and so it may be coming up in yours as well. So what I would like to do at this point is I'm going to borrow directly from the Sedona method by Hale Dwoskin, Dwoskin. It's easy to find him at thesedonamethod.com. And he actually does a free call. I don't know if it's monthly, but he does a free call sometimes. And he has this infectious laugh, which I love. And sometimes, even if, I don't get to work with him on the call, just hearing him laugh up levels my mood. Okay, so this is from a section in part 1 of the Sedona Method book, Your Key to Serenity. And the section is Stuck on a Feeling. And he suggests letting go of wanting to change what you are feeling in the now is the key to achieving serenity when you've been finding it difficult to let go of specific feelings or beliefs, or when you have any indecision about releasing. And here's the goodies. When we feel hesitant to let go, it is often because we want to maintain control. Woo. There's a way in which we get attached to and fall in love with our points of view because they are ours. It's mine, so I'm going to keep it, even if it's hurting me. And letting it go, to use an analogy, right? If I'm gripping something tightly in my hand, at least I know what's happening. But if I let go of it and I have that open hand, that can feel frightening because we are losing the illusion of control. So he has this process that he shares about being stuck. And that's what resistance can be. I am stuck in a point of view. I am stuck in an unwillingness to change that point of view. I am stuck in wanting things to be a certain way, and I refuse to be joyful, peaceful, or happy unless and until the world changes to suit me. That's a lot of what stuckness is. And of course, there's the other versions of stuck, which is I know I should do something, but I just can't make myself do it. So, what does Hale Dwoskin share with us? Could you allow yourself to welcome the feeling of stuckness as best you can? Then check whether you have a sense of wanting to change the stuckness. If you do, could you allow yourself to have that feeling as well? Now, could you let go of wanting to change the stuckness? Would you? When? Check to see how you feel now. Do you feel less stuck? Less stuck? Either way, is there any more feeling of wanting to change it? Could you let go of wanting to change it? Would you, if you could? When? Again, notice how you feel inside. If you've been open to this experience, you probably feel a little or a lot lighter already. Now take another look within. Check to see if there is still more of that sense of wanting to change how you feel. If there is, could you let go of wanting to change that? Would you? When? Yes, releasing stuckness can be this simple. So ultimately, and I think we talked about this in the last episode or the one before, we're often motivated by fear of our feelings. I have this feeling, I don't like it, and I want the world to change so I can get rid of this feeling. Or um, I don't like how I'm feeling. End. Period. I don't like how I'm feeling, and that's it. And we want desperately to change it. But as we've been discussing, the more we use force on ourselves or our feelings, the more likely we are to get that force pushed right back at us. It's judo, it's Wu Wei. If you punch a punching bag, it bounces right back. So, this process that I just shared with you from the Sedona method really is that invitation to get very meta. We're not even trying to change the feeling that we're trying to change. We're opening up space to allow the wanting to change to exist. And when we allow the wanting to change something to exist, it often frees up energy for us to make a decision about whether we actually want to change the thing that we think that we want to change. And if your brain feels a little bit scrambled, that's okay. Releasing does that. Hacking the human mind does that. Because our logical left brain, Western, I don't know, I know you're not all Western, but we've polluted your thoughts too. All of our sort of rationalism, and I'm saying rationalism because we have made a religion out of it. Our rationalism says that everything can be figured out by a step-by-step plan. And when we have these paradoxes of the more you hate it, the more you get it. The more you hate it, the more of it you get. The more you try to change a thing, the less the thing changes. It just doesn't track. And when we check into the reality of our own experience, we often find that it is in fact true. There's the stereotype is the wrong word. What is the word I'm looking for? You'll figure it out when I tell you what I'm trying to say. That when people are really wanting to fall in love and be in a relationship, that the right person shows up when they give up. It's the resistance. It's the more attention I'm paying to how much I don't like my life because I don't have a romantic partner, the less likely I am to have a romantic partner. And then when I surrender that I hate this and I get into that space of serenity, of peace, of acceptance, then there's more energy and more room for joyful, peaceful, lovely things to happen. Let me get back to Hale. The harder we try to not create what we do not want, the stronger we're holding on to the idea, the more likely we are to create it in our reality. The more you hate it, the longer it lasts. So, we can use the process I just shared with you to let go of wanting to change how we feel. And in letting go of wanting to change how we feel, also known as accepting what is, the feeling is present. Denying it doesn't make it go away, and getting mad at it doesn't make it go away. So when we can get into that acceptance of how we feel, A, we get peace and serenity just for doing it, and B, if it's a feeling that isn't serving us, it'll often take that opportunity to dissipate. And if it is a feeling that is serving us, then we're able to hear the message and take the appropriate action. The more you hate it, the longer it lasts. So use your attention to pay for peace, serenity, joy, happiness. Use your attention to water and fertilize the plants you want to grow rather than focusing on how much you don't like something. You know what I do like? You. Thank you for being here. If you haven't yet, would you subscribe? Would you like this podcast? Would you share it? Because I would love to see you here every time we release one. And oh, thank you so much to those of you who've been commenting on YouTube. I actually get notifications for that and it lights up my day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue to be the beauty on the planet that you are, because you are beauty on this planet. You are love on this planet. You are joy. You are whole, perfect, and complete fighter jet. And you are worthy and deserving of all of the good things that there are. Until next time.